let's get right into it. Have you ever found yourself just pulling back? You're in a conversation and you just go quiet and you're not even sure why. Well, today we're going to break down the psychology of strategic silence. And here's the kicker. It's not weakness. It's actually a sign of a seriously high-functioning mind. I'm betting this hits home for a lot of you, right? It's that exact moment where you just stop trying to explain yourself. You stop fighting to make them get it. And to everyone on the outside, yeah, it looks like you've gone cold, like you've just disengaged. But that's not what's really happening. Because underneath the surface, something really profound is happening inside your mind. This isn't about giving up, not at all. It's about leveling up. Your brain is making a smart, calculated move. It's deciding to stop wasting its most precious resource, your mental energy, and instead, it's redirecting it toward what will actually change your life for the better. So in this explainer, we are going to unpack the 6 real reasons why your silence is a sign of high intelligence and, believe it or not, emotional maturity. So if you felt this shift happening to you, listen up. You are not alone. In fact, you're evolving. Okay, so let's call this what it is, this silent shift. And let's be super clear. This is not about becoming cold or distant. It's a cognitive upgrade, plain and simple. The fancy term for this is psychological detachment. Now, that sounds a little clinical, but all it really means is that you're making a choice, maybe not even a conscious one at first, to reallocate your mental energy. You're pulling it away from those pointless arguments and debates that lead nowhere, and you're pouring it into things that actually matter. Things like real problem solving or personal growth. So how does this actually play out inside your brain? Well, it all comes down to managing your inner world. Okay, think of it like this. Your brain has a certain amount of what we call cognitive bandwidth. It's like the battery on your phone, right? It's finite. Every single thing you do, every decision, every argument you get into drains that battery. And if you've got a highly analytical mind, you feel that drain way more intensely. It's a precious resource. And this is where the smart shift happens. You start treating that mental energy like money in a bank account. Every useless argument, that's a withdrawal. Pretty soon, all that surface-level social noise just feels, well, it feels mentally expensive. So you instinctively start moving your resources away from it and investing them in things with a much higher return. Learning something new, creating something valuable, or just doing that deep thinking that actually solves problems. Now, here's a huge misconception. People see you being quiet, and they label it overthinking. They picture you stuck in some kind of anxious, repetitive loop. But the reality? Oh, it's so much more sophisticated than that. It's not a loop at all. It's a deep, multi-layered analysis. What's really going on is something called cognitive complexity. It's the ability to see all the angles that others just miss. So while everyone else is arguing about who to blame for a problem at work, you're quiet. Why? Because you're already thinking about why the system failed, how this will impact next quarter's projections, and you're already mapping out 3 ways to make sure it never happens again. You're not overthinking. You're playing chess while they're playing checkers. This isn't indecisiveness. It's strategic thinking. Okay, so we've talked about the inner world. How does this all change the way you deal with the outside world? Well, it builds you a brand new filter. If you're a highly observant person, you basically have this built-in pattern recognition software running 24/7. You spot the little inconsistencies in stories, you pick up on subtle manipulations, you can sniff out fake behavior from a mile away. And honestly, it can make social interactions absolutely draining. It's like you can see the code running behind the conversation, and it takes a lot of energy to process. And so what happens? Your silence becomes a form of self-preservation. It's a conscious choice. You're not just cutting people off, you're carefully curating your social circle. You choose fewer but more controlled connections. You're going for quality over quantity, seeking out those rare, authentic connections that actually recharge your battery instead of draining it. And this new filter doesn't just work on people, it works on our digital lives too. You start to see the tricks designed to keep you hooked. The big one is called variable reward reinforcement. It's the same psychological principle that makes slot machines so addictive. Social media is basically a digital slot machine. You scroll and refresh, waiting for that unpredictable reward, a like, a comment, a notification, and it keeps you pulling the lever. And you start to see that whole cycle for exactly what it is. First, you get that unpredictable notification. Boom. That gives you a little hit of dopamine, that feel-good chemical. That hit makes you want to check again. And again, it's a compulsive loop. But then comes the most important step, strategic rejection. You actively choose to deprogram yourself. Your silence online isn't passive. It's you taking back control, breaking the cycle and reclaiming your own mind.
All right, so this all leads to the big payoff. What's the true outcome of all this? What do you actually get from mastering strategic silence?
Well, for one thing, you develop what I'd call a healthy institutional skepticism. The more you observe, the more you realize that a lot of systems, well, they're broken, they fail. So instead of putting your faith in them, your trust shifts inward. You stop looking for applause from the outside. You stop waiting for someone else to come and fix things. You become radically self-reliant and focus on solving the problems yourself.
But that self-reliance brings up a really important question. In a world that is just screaming with constant noise, where do the best ideas, the truly groundbreaking ones, actually come from? The answer is a fascinating psychological principle called the incubation effect. Think about it. When do you get your best ideas? It's almost never when you're forcing it, right? It's when you disconnect. It's in the shower or on a long drive or just zoning out. That's when your subconscious mind has the space to connect all the dots. So your silence isn't emptiness. It's the exact opposite. It's the fertile ground where real creativity and innovation can finally grow. So let's pull all these threads together. What does your silence really mean? Here's the bottom line. Your silence is not a retreat. It's not you checking out. It is the final, most important shift you'll make. It's the moment you stop just absorbing the world around you and you start shaping it. And just so we're clear, this isn't some feel-good, fake motivation. This is the way psychology actually sees your evolving intelligence. So if this connected with you, make sure you hit subscribe, because our next explainer might just reveal something about your own mind that you felt your whole life but never had a name for.